Khayav, I really appreciate hearing your point of view. Your answer to the question, who could use, what word, was that no one can use them. And my answer, believe it or not, is the opposite. I think the answer is everyone can use them, because you can't mandate the use of a word. You can't do it. You can't stop people from doing that. It's inalienable. We have a mouth, and there are words, and people will use them. And I mean, you can't arrest people for it. You can't start arresting people for it. So the only logical place to me left to go is to say everyone can say it. What I think is needed, the cure, is self-esteem, tolerance, acceptance, and most of all, self-esteem and respect. All of that, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, first begins with self-esteem, with self-respect. If you respect yourself, you're more than likely going to respect other people. People have to get on with the business of passing on self-esteem and self-respect. And yeah, I think it's about respect. And I think and respect begins with self-respect. And it's hard to have self-respect in a world that doesn't practice respect. We sort of, one feeds on the other, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't it? When I was 6 years old, my mother and father came from the South, but I grew up in Albany, New York. I'm a northern boy. A little, I wasn't Southern. 6 years old. It was 1960. Okay, so now you know my age. And my mother went on a trip down south, and she took some of us kids, the smaller ones, and I'd never been there before, and at some place, I think it was I think it was Albany, Georgia, because I remember being so freaked out that, I was only 6, because we were from Albany, New York, and here we were, another place, Albany, Georgia. We were in Albany, and I got off the bus to pee, and I just ran off, and I ran into the wrong bathroom. I was in there taking a piss, and I remember this little white kid, my age, was just staring at me with his mouth wide open. And these men were standing around, and nobody, lynched me or anything, but my mother actually popped her head in and yelled for me to come out. And I'll tell you, as I remember it, the men, I don't know what they were thinking, but what scared me was how scared my mother was. Scared as hell, because she grew up down there. So remember, even 20 years before that, 20, 30, 20, 25 years, whatever, before that, and she was scared as hell. I'd never seen fear on her face, and it started yelling at me not to go in those rooms. My brother took me around the side and showed me a colored only bathroom. And then of course I started noticing, oh yeah, they're all over. As I got older, I even could laugh at it, because it's it's kind of funny. I mean, that kid was and sometimes I even have wondered, you know, as I got older, like even today, like I wonder if that's a memory as clear in that kid's mind as it was mine. I wonder if it traumatized the guy, like, whoa, I saw a black kid pissing. Or maybe it had the opposite effect. Maybe it like opened up his mind. You know, oh, they piss too. You know, I mean, I don't know. You know, but my point is that, so what was my point for that? Oh, so the point is that, yeah, it's also, you know, you talk about dysfunctional families. Well, dysfunctional society. It's difficult to develop self-esteem. I mean, here was a society that tells a little boy, "You're not even good enough to piss here." So just you got to sort that shit out, and you need some help sorting that out. Yes, you have to have self-esteem and self-respect, but you also have to have an environment that at least doesn't clash violently with that, you know. And I know, and these are different times and everything, but I still think that the answer to the question is yes, is that everyone should say it, and where the work has to be done is on our own self-respect, which leads to respecting others.